Welcome to the Empowered Women's Channel podcast, the home for vibrant living. Our goal every session is to inspire you with new and interesting ideas. Join us and let's change the planet together. So are you ready, Kate?
I'm ready, Bo.
Let's go! Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Empowered Women's podcast. Today we have such a great guest in. We have Kristy Crandell, who's pursuing a career in health coaching, and you can check out her website, wellnessglow.net. And if you want any updates as well from everything she's doing, but she's got a really great story to share with us today about her journey and health. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to give it away, but hi Kristy.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on. We're so thrilled. I have had the pleasure of knowing you for how many years now?
Oh my goodness. 13 years?
Has it been that long?
Going on that, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we never thought we'd be sitting in this little studio together having a conversation.
I know.
With our new friend, Bo. We got a lot going on over here at Empowered Women's Channel, don't we? Mm-hmm. Obviously, like Bo said, you're pursuing a new career, kind of, and we want to kind of get into your backstory, but can you kind of just start out by telling everyone kind of how you found out about this kind of quote health crisis you found yourself in a few years ago?
Yeah. I was just living my life. I was how old was I back then? 31?
Yeah, that sounds
31 right. And just living life. I'd recently gotten married and a lot of new changes in my life at that time. Got married, started a brand new job, bought a new house, kind of all in the same year. It was a big year for us. And just loving life and living it to the fullest. And just one day, I at the time I was working out like 3 or 4 times a week. I was definitely a cardio junkie. And
I remember those days.
Yeah, running, spin class, and then this at-home workout video.
What was that thing called? Like Insanity? Was it Insanity?
Insanity.
Okay.
And I'm sure a lot of your listeners have seen the infomercials on it.
I'm
and
sure.
It is insane. And it screwed my knee up. I was doing it at home and I don't know, tweaked my knee somehow and tore my meniscus. It was a gradual tear, so it wasn't too bad, but my knee was hurting and I was unable to go, run on it, whatever. So went in to get it looked at and did an MRI, and the doctor was concerned that I had a lot of inflammation in my knee. So he did some routine blood work on that to check that and came back. And when I went back for a follow-up, he came in and he started asking me questions like, do you have rheumatoid arthritis? Does it run in your family? And I'm like, no. And at that time, I didn't really even know what rheumatoid arthritis was.
Yeah.
And I thought he was referring to osteoarthritis. And so I thought, well, don't you have to be, in your 70s to have that?
Right.
He's like, no, it's an autoimmune disease. And I was like, oh, great. And that kind of triggered some fear into me because, as you know, my dad passed away from a very rare form of autoimmune disease called Church-Strauss syndrome in 2008. So that just brought a lot of feelings of fear back for me. I'd watched my dad struggle through his own illness for 3 years and going from doctor to doctor, no one ever being able to tell him what he had and what was wrong with him, and going on all kinds of medication and nothing really helping him and having all kinds of side effects that were impacting him negatively. And, the prednisone, talk about the moon face that he had that and dropped tons of weight. Anyways, he ended up passing away in 2008. So when I heard this, it was a complete shock to me. I didn't have any other symptoms besides a swollen knee at the time. And that day he rushed me over to a rheumatologist, and the rheumatologist is checking my wrists and my fingers, and he's looking at me going, yeah, you have RA. And I'm looking at my hands and I'm thinking my hands and my feet, all my joints look completely normal to me. I thought this guy was crazy. And sure enough, he ran some more blood work to double check it all, and it came back positive for the rheumatoid factor. And within the next few weeks, it just, the symptoms did start to progress, and I started waking up with aches and pains in my shoulders and my wrists and my elbows and all that. So
yeah, that was pretty quick, wasn't it?
It was pretty quick after that. It was within a couple weeks. And I just remember that day when the rheumatologist told me I had this. I mean, he was telling me that most patients end up in wheelchairs and they're crippled for the rest of their life. And that, I remember him telling me specifically, if you're going to have RA in any day and age, now's the day and age because the medications are so great. And he left he left me with a stack of pamphlets of all these different medications that I got to choose from. Oh, take your pick. Which one do you want? And I just wanted to run the other way. And one of the drugs that he specifically wanted me to be on right away was methotrexate. And I asked him, what's the side effects of methotrexate? Without even blinking an eye, he looked at me and he said, oh, well, it causes birth defects so badly that it forces you to have an abortion. And I looked at him and I'm like, and you give this to people? Yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to run the other way, and I'm a firm believer in alternative medicine. And I just at that point just decided I'm going to fight this as naturally as possible, and going to try to avoid the medication as much as I can. And so that started my journey of this fight, really.
And you've tried quite a few things, I know. Can you explain, some of the natural treatments that you've tried?
Yeah. I done some of the basic stuff like juice cleansing. I did a 10-day juice cleanse. I've done a lot of alternative therapies, such as hyperbaric oxygen chamber, FSM treatments, and IV treatments. IVs of MSM for inflammation, that kind of thing. I've also done, what else have I done? Gosh, it's hard to...
The list goes on.
Yeah, it's hard
What
to
haven't you done is the question.
Change my diet. Diet's a big thing. I am grain-free, sugar-free, and dairy-free. I've tried various different diets: raw diet, vegan diet, paleo diet, GAPS diet. And I'm also on the antibiotic therapy, which is basically on antibiotics. It's a belief that rheumatoid arthritis the root cause of it is from microplasms. And that was founded by Dr. Thomas McPherson Brown. He found this by extracting fluid from an arthritic patient and found the bacterial-like microorganism in there and determined that, well, this is what's causing it. So that was exciting for me to find that, because I always believe that I didn't just wake up with this one day. I don't really believe that your body just starts attacking itself. I thought there's got to be something that triggered this. There's a root problem. And so when I found that, I was kind of felt like I hit the jackpot. I was excited about that. So I've been on the antibiotics for almost 2 years now, and still on them. The problem with that therapy is you have to be on the antibiotics for a long period of time, but it is a low dose, and you just have to make sure you're taking probiotics when you're on that.
Sure, which you totally do, and you always have, huh?
Yeah.
There are so many people with autoimmune disease these days.
It's crazy.
What do you think's going on?
I think it's a combination of multiple things. The SAD diet, the standard American diet, I think is a big one. It's breaking down our immune systems and our guts, and 80% of your immune system's in your gut. And I think that we don't have a strong enough immune system, and the antibiotics are overused. And even though I'm on a low dose of antibiotics for my therapy, but they are overused, which is breaking down our guts too, and causing a lot of problems. So if your immune systems are shot and you're not eating a good diet, I think you're more susceptible to these different diseases.
So one question I have, I know you've tried all these different things. I don't know, how have you managed to keep the faith and, stay on a more natural route and with your lifestyle and everything after trying so many things?
Yeah, it's not easy. Definitely. I've chosen the more difficult road, that's for sure. If I would have taken the meds right off the bat, I probably would have saved myself a lot of pain and things like that. But I don't regret it at all. I've learned so much along the way, and I know that I'm healthier for it. And so as far as keeping the faith for me, it's honestly I couldn't get it through what I've gone through without God in my life. And I really have leaned on Him for the strength and the hope that I needed to get through those tough times, because there's a lot of dark days. I mean, there was a period of time when it was so bad I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. I had to, and eventually after a couple of months after being diagnosed, I quit my job, and I couldn't straighten my arms. I mean, simple things you do every day. I couldn't turn doorknobs without using both hands. I couldn't open a jar. I couldn't put my car in park or drive. I had to use both hands to do that. I couldn't bend my knee enough to get into the car. There was days when I'd be laying in bed with just a sheet on me, and the sheet felt so heavy I couldn't lift it off my body. It was just this. It's not just joint pain. It was like flu-like symptoms, but magnify that by 10 times. Like it's all over your body. It's like every fiber in your body hurts and it aches. And my husband I'm so thankful for my husband. I mean, he has been my rock through this whole thing. And he would literally pick me up out of bed and carry me to the restroom, and then carry me down the stairs to the couch, where I would spend the rest of the day laying on the couch, reading books and studying and researching about this diet and these nutrition therapies and things, trying to research and find my way out of this thing, or watching movies or whatever I could to keep my mind off the pain. But that was my life, and that's all the energy I had was enough to just get myself out of bed and down the stairs and just lay on the couch all day. And there's days when you break down crying and you think, is this your life? Am I going to end up in a wheelchair? But all in all, there was something in me that said, no, this isn't your fate. And I really, really learned just to really lean on God, and he gave me the strength I needed to get through it. Because I know looking back, it's like, there's no way I could have done that on my own strength, so,
God, I've journeyed with you and seen you in the low of the low. And
you've dried my hair for me.
I did dry your hair for you. I did. That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I've seen, it obviously hasn't been wasted, this whole experience. Not only what you've learned and how you've grown as a woman and as a Christian and your faith and things like that, but also I'm sure you've grown. I mean, obviously this new kind of career path you've chosen.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, even though you're not where you want to be in your health and you're on your way, I mean, what are your plans for kind of getting off your current, antibiotics and medicine? Do you have a plan for that, as well as like when you start working with people in the future, with your health coaching and stuff, are you kind of looking to help them kind of not go down the route that you did, or are you trying to save somebody from trying to have to go through the not natural route? Or
yeah, I think everybody has to go through their own journey to find their health, and I really believe in bio-individuality, which means there's no diet theory for everybody. There's just vegan's not the answer for everybody. You got to find it for yourself, and there's only one way to do it, is really to get in and start trying it and listening to your body. You really learn to become in tune with yourself, and that's where I would like to come in as a health coach and just guide people through this, because it's confusing and it's scary when you feel like you're the only one in the world dealing with this, and you're kind of going into it blindly. And I feel like I've been down this path where I can help guide people through it now, but that doesn't mean I can tell them their answer for them. They have to find it for themselves still. But because I've been through so much and have done my own research and been experiencing it myself, and been to so many different doctors, and both homeopathic doctors and natural, Western medicine doctors, I feel like I can help give them a shortcut to their end conclusion.
Absolutely. I know when you and I were talking a couple times in the last few months, when you decided to kind of go this new career path, about you really empowering women to kind of come up under them and maybe do things like go to the grocery store with them and teach them how to shop. And people really don't know the fundamental basics of health, do they?
Yeah, and I was that person. When I look back at my life before I got this diagnosis, I thought I was healthy, but going through this has really opened my eyes to it, and I wasn't healthy at the time. And I would love to come in and just empower people. I mean, it's no one's fault. People just don't know. Like me, I wasn't educated. I didn't understand. I didn't know. I had to go out and figure it out on my own. And I would love to just show up and help people. What's in your fridge now? What's your diet now? Let's take you shopping. Let's show you, kind of like give them some guidance as to what foods to buy and how to cook the foods even, and just walk alongside them and support them through their journey.
Absolutely. So that's basically like you're an empowered woman kind of coming up under and empowering other women to be able to go live their lives again. Because for a while you probably felt like your life just was what it was. And
Yeah.
you probably felt anything but empowered. But
Oh yeah.
now that you're kind of out the other side
mm-hmm.
a bit, you're able to kind of go, gosh, I want to give back to
definitely
other people.
When you're going through it, when you're in the thick of it, you just feel like you're stuck in the desert and you don't see any way out of it. And but finally, I feel like I have come out on the other side of it, and I'm so thankful for it. And I've come out of it empowered, and I've come out of it have learned so many lessons along the way. And I'm so excited to go out and like share this with the world and help other women. And because when I first got diagnosed, I was so lost. I was scared. I was shocked. And I felt completely alone. Out of all my friends, I was the only one who had this. And, I would try to call people and explain to them what was going on, and nobody could relate to me. No one in my family, no one in my circle of friends, no one at work, nobody could relate. And I'm scouring the internet trying to find answers to something. And so I'm coming out of this going to people who might be in my shoes right now, the same shoes that I was in 2.5 years ago, going, you're not alone. Mm-hmm. And there is a path out of this. And you have to keep the faith and know that this is reversible, because I've seen it with my own eyes. Mm-hmm. I personally have not completely reversed mine yet, but I believe that it will be. But I have seen other women who have completely reversed it. So I know it can be done. And persistence is key, and keeping the hope and keeping the faith.
I also think it's important, with so many autoimmune diseases coming up these days, that, people need to change the way that they're thinking about food and diet and
mm-hmm.
nutrition and everything else. I mean, is that something that that information, will that be readily available on your site? So, prevention as well, because, we might, like you said, we might think we're living
mm-hmm.
healthy lives, but if we don't know the basics and the information there, we could be totally doing the wrong things.
Definitely. And I will have a lot of information about the different nutrition theories out there for people to go and research. I'll put on there some of the alternative therapies that I personally have gone through, with a little bit more information on that, so they can research it themselves and see if it might be a good fit for them. And that's where I'm just hoping that, to spread a lot of information on that website, and people can go on there and do their own research there, and I'll provide a lot of information for them.
That is wonderful. So you guys definitely want to keep up on Kristy's site. We'll put a link to that at the bottom of the show. If you could give people a piece of advice for adding something in every day. I know, like on our Extreme Health Radio podcast, Justin, my husband, and I, with our show, he always says the best way for him to kind of add something in is to not subtract something.
Yeah.
It's like addition by
crowding
subtraction
out.
By addition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What advice would you give to people as far as maybe what to add in, so they don't feel like they're just like cutting out all this stuff in order to be healthier?
Yeah. I think that's one way people fail a lot in trying to change their ways. Everybody's all big on these New Year's resolutions. Okay, this year I'm going to lose this much weight, or I'm going to completely cut out sugar or something like that this year. Step back and take baby steps. If you say, for instance, you want to cut out on sugar, you can cut back, but it's crowding out. So replacing the sugars that you normally use, even if it is raw cane sugar, things like that, switch to stevia. Or it's all about substitution. There's usually a substitution for everything out there. If you're craving sugar, substitute with stevia, substitute with honey, substitute with agave, and just start with small steps like that. And then eventually, what we call crowding out, eventually the crowding out will happen. And in the process of, especially with sugar, because that was one of the hardest things that I struggled with. I loved my gummy bears and my red vines. I used to have the Costco side red vines in my office all the time. And so that was the biggest thing for me. So that's why I'm relating to sugar so much right now. But you get to a point when you substitute with stevia or agave or honey, after so much time, your taste buds change completely, and you don't even like it anymore. Because I can remember when I took a little tiny bite of like a piece of cake or something, and I was like, ugh, this is disgusting. It was so sweet and overpowering. It made me sick. Like, just one little taste was too much for me. So
that is pretty. It is funny how our taste buds totally like transition. Because
Mm-hmm.
you and I, just having our history, we used to enjoy the nightly cup of red wine. And we had things that you probably weren't the healthiest habits, but weren't totally terrible. But now it's funny how much we just get so excited about a giant green juice.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it funny? And now it's like I don't even crave the sugar and the acid things and the things we used to like kind of stuff our faces with.
My husband was just telling me the other day, because I wake up every morning and make both of us a green juice in the morning, or a green smoothie in the Vitamix. And I don't put very much sugary fruits in there. I use mostly greens, and I do basically berries. And I quit adding, I used to add stevia to it, and I quit doing that a while ago. So my husband's so good. He eats and drinks anything I put in front of him.
So down the
poor
hatch.
guy. I always feel like I'm depriving him, but he's happy. So, but he told me the other day that he made himself a smoothie, and he put high sugar content fruits like bananas and mangoes into his smoothie, and then he added stevia on top of it, and he was like, it was so gross, I couldn't even drink it. He's like, it's because your smoothies don't have any sugar in it. So he's adapted to it too. So
that's so great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, what else can you kind of leave people if you have any messages you want to share with anyone upon departing?
Yeah, well, I think anybody, specifically talking to those who might be dealing with a health crisis in their life, or have a loved one who is dealing with it, the biggest thing I learned in it is don't own your diagnosis. That's the biggest thing. I mean, once you own your diagnosis, you've stamped your claim in that, and you start to live that out almost. So if you, like, I refuse to own the diagnosis, and because I know I will be healed of this. I know that I will come out of the other side 100%. So having that mentality is a huge part of your healing process. Also, you're not alone. I felt very alone in the beginning, like I mentioned before. And there are other ways to treat this other than Westernized medicine. And there is a time and place for Westernized medicine, but there is also other great alternative therapies out there. And just keep the faith. You can reverse it. Your body is designed to heal itself. And same with anybody who's just dealing with weight loss and things like that. Just keep your mind on it and do the crowding out. I mean, that's a big component of it. Don't deprive yourself, because when you deprive yourself, that's when you binge.
Right. And this is about longevity and kind of really big lifestyle changes for people. You don't want to just like kind of go for it and then burn out and fizzle really quick.
Exactly.
Oh, Kristy, thanks for spending time with us.
Yeah, thank you. That was really, really great. That was such useful information that I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate to as well, that they aren't alone,
Mm-hmm.
That is a big thing. And I think the power of words and the power of thought is it's that mental thing as well.
Definitely.
And to overcome, what you are overcoming.
Definitely.
Yes, and you will continue on your path. And if anybody, you guys, again, want to check out her website, it is such a cool name. How did you come up with this name, by the way? It's wellnessglow.net.
Well, I love the word glow, because when you're talking about health, when you, like Kate and Bo, you guys are glowing because you're healthy, and you can see it. You're healthy from the inside out, and it just
high five.
It does. It creates a glow. It's like when a woman's pregnant, she's glowing, So that's kind of how I came up with it. I think all women are, when you're living the life you need to be living, and you're healthy, and you're going down the right path, you're just glowing, and people see it.
We are so thrilled that you are a part of the Empowered Women's channel, and I'm sure people won't be getting enough of you. So we'll do this again and just talk about other girly things. So thanks.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. That was great. And if any of you guys want to keep updated with anything that's happening on our channel, or blogs that Kristy writes for our channel, check out our newsletter at www.empoweredwomenschannel.com/subscribe. And it's a great way of keeping up to date with everything we've got coming up, or everything that's just been, because we don't want you to miss any of this great information that we're putting out there for free, may I say. Is there anything else we need to add?
It's all free.
Yeah, I know, right? Why would we do that?
I don't know, but it's okay.
We are.
It's meant to just empower everybody out there, and that's the whole reason we're doing it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, helping others.
Cool. So you guys spread the word to your friends, and check out if you guys have any comments or anything for the show, you can write below and get talking. So.
And we'll leave any links for the show below, so you can check out, or leave comments, or get in contact with Kristy if you want to.
Well, you guys have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world, or night or evening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
With grateful hearts, we thank you for joining this session of our Empowered Women's Channel podcast. We wish you an inspired day ahead wherever you are in the world. Remember to sign up for our newsletter at empoweredwomenschannel.com/subscribe. Instantly receive our fabulous free gift to you that you gals don't want to miss out on. Hey, Bo, do you know what women are?
People without beards?
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any information in this blog or to start any health program without first consulting a health professional. The content found here is for informational purposes only and is in no way intended as medical advice, as a substitute for medical counseling, or as a treatment/cure for any disease or health condition, and nor should it be continued as such. Always work with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, prescription drug use, lifestyle, or exercise activities. This information is provided as is, and the reader/viewer assumes all risks from the use, non-use, or misuse of this information.